Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today, if you're new, I'm Chris Gibson. I'm your skincare expert, and it is my goal to help you get your best skin ever. And on this channel, we talk about skincare products, we review them, we talk about skincare problems, we solve them, and just methods and skincare routines, everything skincare. So if that's your thing, be sure and hit the subscription button and the little notification bell so that you get notified when my new videos are up each week. Now that you found me, don't lose me. Okay, so there are thousands and thousands of skincare products for acne out on the market today, and none of them has reached the level of name recognition that Proactiv has. And that's probably because we've been seeing their infomercials since 1995. They really are a big deal, and they've been around a really long time. You can even find them dispensed in kiosks in malls across America. Despite the many, and I do mean many, highly paid celebrities that have gone on and done ads for them, like Katy Perry, Adam Levine, they still are a very, very controversial skincare line for acne. And the reviews on the product seem to fall between people who feel like it helped them get clear skin and a lot of people who felt that it didn't help them or it actually made their skin worse. Now, over the years, there have been many reincarnations of this product. In the beginning, in 1995, it was a three-step product just called Proactiv. Then in 2013, they redid it as Proactiv Plus. It kind of upgraded the ingredient formulation, and today we have Proactiv Md, which again is a new version of the product line, even though the older versions are still available. Now, it's really important to know a little bit of the history of Proactiv. In the beginning, it was developed by two dermatologists, Rodan and Fields, and they're still advertised on the product today as the originators of the original formulations. What you don't know, or what you need to know, is that Proactiv is marketed by a giant marketing firm called Guthy-Renker. In fact, almost every single commercial or infomercial that you have seen regarding a skincare line late at night is a Guthy-Renker product line, such as Cindy Crawford's Meaningful Beauty, Crepe Erase, Victoria Principal's Principal Secret, and even Dr. Perricone. All those are Guthy-Renker product lines that they market out to millions of people on an ongoing basis. They spend $200 million a year in media. It's a huge amount of money. Now, one of the key features of these particular product lines is that they ask for you to join a continuity program or an auto ship program so that you get a better deal, and they ship out a lot of product for a person 90 days worth. So if you get the product and it doesn't work for you, it's a real hassle to return it. So they've made that feature optional. If you ever are in a situation where you're buying skincare or anything else and it requires you to do an auto ship program, it's not an offer, it's required, I say walk away. So Guthy-Renker's Proactiv Md. In this video today, I'm going to answer some key questions in that, is there anything really new or special about Proactiv Md? Are there other products, perhaps less expensive, that you can use out there? And will it really work for you, or is it going to create more problems and make your acne worse? I promise you, by the end of this video, you're going to know the answer to those questions. Now, many of you know my own story and battle with acne. It started when I was 11 and it went on until I was 24 years old. It took me 13 years to figure out what my problem was, and I learned a lot. I learned that acne is usually a combination of factors that have to do with diet, product use or choice, and your skincare routine. So when I see people who are desperately trying to find something that will help them clear up their skin, I get very passionate, very animated about any type of product or method or thing that promises to work for everybody and is the answer to acne. Now, as I've already said, Proactiv has been around for a very long time, and you would think from their commercials that they would have solved world acne by now. So is there anything really special or new that makes Proactiv Md a better product choice for acne or not? Well, the new premise with this new formulation is that they have added Adapalene, which is a retinol, which is an over-the-counter retinol for acne that has been proven to be helpful in reducing acne breakouts. Now, it was a prescription medication that's now available over the counter, so they've added it to the Proactiv mix to see if they could get a better result for their clients. Now, you all who follow me know it's all about ingredients and results for me, so let's take a look at the ingredients in these formulations. Original Proactiv formulations have been about the same, and since some of you may be using or wanting to use them, I'm going to include those here in this video for you. Now, the basic active ingredients in Proactiv products has been benzoyl peroxide, glycolic acid, salicylic acid, hyaluronic acid, and kojic acid. And if you're thinking to yourself, oh my God, that's an acid bath, you're not far off. As a specialist, I can tell you when I look at these ingredients, and particularly in this particular mix of ingredients, I can see why a lot of people found problems with using these original formulations as they were. Now, I often joke that there's nothing new in the new skincare lines for acne, and unfortunately, it's not funny because it's true. A lot of the products that you are using have been around for a really long time. So let's take a look at these particular products and what they can do for you or not do for you and how long they've been around. First is benzoyl peroxide. It was introduced in the 1930s, and I know I used it in my beginning days in fighting acne, and it's been around for a really long time. It's an antibacterial product or ingredient that's used in a lot of acne formulation. It comes in two strengths, usually 5% and 10%. Most people cannot tolerate 10%, and most of your over-the-counter products that you buy in the store, it's 5%. It has a very definite side effect of making the skin irritated and also making it very dry and flaky, so it doesn't work well for everyone, and a lot of formulations now mix it with other ingredients to help soften the effect of it. But its main job is to reduce the amount of acne bacteria on your skin. Next up is glycolic acid. Something you've probably heard about or heard of is AHA, or alpha hydroxy acid. Now, there are a bunch of different types of alpha hydroxy acids, but glycolic acid, which was discovered actually in 1851, have been around for a really long time, used in a lot of industrial chemical processes. But this is a video on skincare, so we're not gonna talk about that. We'll talk about its use in skincare. That product or a product ingredient is very super powerful for removing old dead skin cells off the outside of the skin. So it works on the surface of the skin to remove that microscopic layer of dead skin cells. That's why it gives people a really nice glow. People tolerate it well because it doesn't sink deeply into the skin, and it does a really good job of keeping pores unblocked. So it's a really great product, one of my favorite products actually to use for acne prone skin, and not just that, but because of its anti-aging properties for sun damage and lines and wrinkles. It works on all of those, so it's a really super powerful ingredient that's really, really popular today. Now, next up is an ingredient that I have a lot of personal experience with. It's salicylic acid, and it's made from the bark of willow trees when you get it, and it's not synthetic. So in natural skincare, you will see it listed as willow tree bark or something along those lines, or willow tree bark extract. Basically, it's a BHA or a beta hydroxy acid, which means that it is able to sink further down into the skin or the upper level of the dermis to help remove and treat skin cells that are lower below that superficial layer. So it usually is a lot lower percentage than an AHA because it can be very irritating and very, very drying. It's been around in skincare products for acne for as long as I can remember, at least the late 70s and early 1980s. The problem with it is, again, people are very sensitive to it, especially in high concentrations. So it can lead to a buildup of dead skin cells on the skin, which when that happens, it can block more pores and create more problems. This does not surprise me that Proactiv has had issues in what we in the industry or the beauty and skincare industry call the honeymoon phase, where people buy a product for a specific problem, it works pretty well for a week or two, and then it either stops working or it creates more problems that it was designed to correct. This is what happens with Proactiv when you've got benzoyl peroxide, salicylic acid together. It's a very powerful mixture, and it can really be harsh and overdrying to a lot of people, especially if you have sensitive skin like me. It's not gonna work very well for you. So those two ingredients are not the greatest ingredients all the time for everyone. Next up on our hot seat is hyaluronic acid. Now, hyaluronic acid is in just about every skincare moisturizer that's worth its salt. It is a great, great ingredient. It was actually discovered in the 1930s by Carl Meyer, but boy, do we have a lot to thank him for. This particular sugar molecule, which is what it is, it's all natural, right? Sugar molecule helps to bind moisture or water to collagen in the skin. So it actually plumps up skin, it holds moisture in place all day, making it a super, super skincare ingredient. So it's recommended in a lot of things to a lot of people, especially for people with dry or sensitive dry skin. It's very, very helpful for that issue. There are a lot of water-based products coming out on the market now that have a high dose of hyaluronic acid. Almost everyone can tolerate it. There are a few people who can't, but it really is a great ingredient in anything, and that includes Proactiv. Next is a skin lightening agent called kojic acid. It's the last of the acids in this particular ingredient mix for Proactiv. It's used primarily to lighten and brighten skin. It was discovered in 1955, it's been marketed ever since. However, a lot of skincare companies are starting to pull that ingredient out of their list because there have been a lot of studies, especially in Japan, linking it to liver cancer. Doesn't mean you're gonna get liver cancer if you use kojic acid. It just means that some of the products that that ingredient was in did show up in those studies. So a lot of skincare companies are kind of saying, well, it'll better be safe than sorry, and we'll take that out. So as you can see, Proactiv has been around a really long time and marketed itself as a revolutionary anti-acne product, when really there's nothing really new in the ingredients at all. Okay, so what about Proactiv Md? Is it really something new, something better? Well, it has a 3-step program. Again, this is typical of the Proactiv line. It's a face wash, moisturizer, and the Adapalene 1% cream treatment. So Adapalene is new. The face wash and its ingredients seem to be okay. It's glycerin based, but it does have 2 different types of alcohol in it. It has fragrance, synthetic wax, and sulfites in it. So it can be really harsh, and I do not like any skincare products that have synthetic wax in them because it can sit on the skin and block pores. So it's really surprising that that particular product has that in it. Next up is the moisturizer, which is pretty tame. There's no hyaluronic acid in it. There's no real moisturizing ingredients in it. What it does have and offer is sun protection of 30 SPF. So that said, it's not really, I don't think, to really just moisturize. It's more so to protect your skin from the sun, because you're using Adapalene, which is a retinol, and you're supposed to use a really solid sunscreen when you use retinols. Now, here's the problem I have with the sunscreen. It has avobenzone, octisalate, and oxycrylene in it, which are 3 of those ingredients that just came out in the news that get into people's blood, and they are not good for our coral reefs. So I really hope that Guthy-Renker and Proactiv are going to look at that particular piece of that product line and change out those ingredients to a more naturally based zinc product that won't hurt you or the environment. And of course, they added 1% Adapalene cream to help reduce acne breakouts. Now, the problem with retinols is that you have to kind of acclimate to them. So they can cause itchiness, patchy dry skin, flaky skin, redness, all those things. And they call that retinization, and they have a whole thing on their website about putting up with that process till you get used to it. So yes, overall, this is a very different approach for Proactiv. Again, the reviews seem to be the same as before. Some people get some relief, some don't, and a lot of people get worse acne. So I have a hard time believing that Rodan and Fields had much to do with this particular new formulation, but there it is. Now, of course, you can get this product in the auto ship program for $19.95, or you can spend about $70 and get it as a one-time kit. So is there any reason that you really need to run out and spend all that money on Proactiv Md? Well, no, of course not. You can get really great sorbitol glycerin-based face washes that will do a great job cleansing your skin without over drying it, and certainly not leaving wax or using fragrance or sulfites, especially if you have irritated skin. You can also find moisturizers that are based in water and are full of great botanical ingredients to soothe and heal skin, including hyaluronic acid, which again, I highly recommend. And Adapalene is really easy to find over the counter. It's everywhere. It's in Walmart, it's in drugstores, it's everywhere. It's very easy to get. So you don't have to have that kit. You can put it together yourself very, very easily. And I will put in the video description box links to my recommended alternatives to each of those things, so you can go and check them out on your own. Now, I hope that you found this video informative and helpful, and it helps you make a decision like it did for me on whether you need to use a product like Proactiv Md. Not bashing the company, it just is what it is. You don't have to do it that way. Now, I also have videos on face wash, moisturizer, even Adapalene, so that you can learn how to build your perfect skincare routine so you banish acne from your life for good, because I know that's what it's really all about. I'm gonna put those videos over here, so I highly recommend that you check them out. Please let me know in the comments below what skincare products are working for you or what isn't working for you. I will read them. I love to read all my comments, and it helps me figure out what kind of videos to do for you guys. That said, that's it for me today, guys. Much love, stay beautiful, and I will see you guys over on the next one.